welcome. If your camera or your mic is on, would you mind go ahead and taking those off? That's going to save on bandwidth so we won't have any interruptions. Thank you very much. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Just wanted to let you know that. You also should have received an email from Vivian Simon titled hybrid/virtual guided reading and small group suggestions. Okay, if you could go ahead and open that and make a copy, we'll be using that. Let me turn off my camera as well. If you'd like to make a hard copy, go ahead and print that and grab a couple highlighters, pink, yellow, and green, and you'll have time to do that as well. Okay, just want to thank you for being here today. We want you to know that we value your time, and we want to make sure that we're sharing something that is useful and timely. This hour will be spent on feedback that we received through the survey that was shared at the last meeting. So, let me change the slide here and move into our norms. We created these norms by researching the best ways to make the most of collaborative time with teachers. These norms were adapted from ASCD, Making the Most of Collaborative Time for Educators, from the Harvard Education Press. Assume positive intentions and take responsibility for impact. All teachers have varied backgrounds and experiences, different philosophies, varied numbers of years teaching, yet also have common goals, similar teaching techniques and approaches. We're all very passionate about what we do, and the reason that we are so passionate is because we care about students. So assuming positive intentions is very important. For one, so we stay on task and respect one another, and two, so we always remember why we're here. Number two, respect and hear all voices. This is just making sure that everyone is heard and we're sharing ideas to grow as professionals. And number three, believe and know what you have to say is important. Believe in yourself and your thoughts. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about communicating your ideas and making adjustments to your own thinking along the way. And something that we owe to you out of respect for your time, we will begin and end on time. Our tech focus is how to add extensions to Google Breakout Rooms. This is just one piece of technology that we're going to use today. We were waiting on this feature to allow for vertical discussions. The reason that we have more than one grade level is to allow for us to have those collaborative discussions across the county. We're not teaching you today how to use this, but we've added this link. When you go to the Talk SUPs button, you'll be able to access this link to show you how to use this. Also, Glenn Moreland and Jody Zeiss will be offering energy sessions on any of the technology pieces and some of the technology pieces that we've used in these Talk SUP meetings, like Pear Deck, Google Breakout Rooms, and other things that you may find useful. These energy sessions will be about 15 to 30 minutes, and you'll get more information on that. So our professional learning focus today comes from the recent instructional survey. We're going to be having collaborative conversations about information on guided reading and small group instruction through a hybrid or virtual models. The feedback that was gleaned from teachers was how to safely conduct small group or guided reading instruction using the COVID-19 guidelines, and what does small group or guided reading look like in a virtual synchronous setting. We're not talking about the how-to do guided reading. We know you know how to do that, but rather the logistics, space, materials. So with that said, Sue Ellen's going to get you started. So have a great time.
All right, thank you, Sharon. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're happy to have you join us today. So, as Sharon mentioned, it's important for you to be able to access the Google Doc that Vivian sent. And again, that can be a hard copy where you're using actual highlighters, pink, yellow, green, or electronically. You can make a copy of the doc, and then you ought to be able to access and highlight rather easily. Everyone does have editing access to the document. Please be careful as you're copying, and hopefully we don't accidentally remove anything. Before we get into that document and do some of our thinking and work, we want to have you consider and activate some prior knowledge that you have within you, and that is to consider in your hybrid or virtual setting that you're currently in, how are you providing guided reading and small group instruction right now? Consider what is working for you and your students and what isn't. And if you haven't yet started groups, what are obstacles or challenges that have prevented you from doing so? So take a couple of minutes to consider those things, and we'll move on from there in just a minute. Now that you've given some thought to those questions and what your current setup and situation looks like, what's working for you and what isn't, we now want you to please take the Google Doc, the hybrid/virtual guided reading and small group suggestions document, and begin to look through this document from the lens that Sharon shared with you earlier. Not how to conduct a guided reading or a small group. We know you know those logistics already, but the spacing, the proximity that she mentioned. If the suggestion that you see, which again these are all suggestions by your colleagues within the county that we took from last month. And if that makes sense to you, you fully understand what they're saying, then highlight that statement in green. If you pretty much get what they're saying, but you might have a question or two about it, highlight it in yellow. And if it's something that you're really not following very well about what's being communicated or what they're trying to share, then highlight that in pink. And you will have an opportunity to get some clarification in a couple of different ways that we'll share with you soon. So go ahead and take as much time as you need to determine, and you can look at it from the setting that you're in. You can look at both virtual and hybrid, whatever you're most comfortable with. You have a column for note taking if you want, and we'll give you some time to go through and analyze those comments, make your highlights, and then we'll give you directions in just a couple of minutes.
All right, it looks like everyone's finished up. Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking some time to look through the different suggestions. The next thing we're going to do is move into breakout rooms. And we have a couple of things we would like you to be considering as you go into a breakout room with other colleagues throughout the district. First, think about how you can most effectively conduct guided reading and small group lessons. This is what this time and these suggestions are for, to help you figure out how you can most effectively conduct guided reading and small group lessons. Additionally, what ideas or suggestions could you take away from your colleagues during this breakout session? So you're going to take a look at your yellow and pink highlighted statements, suggestions that you might have questions about or want additional information. The people in your breakout room may or may not have actually written those suggestions. However, they may have some ideas to help clarify what you're wondering. When you get into your breakout room, please take time to introduce yourselves, what school you're from, and your role, and then begin the conversations. There's no template or rhyme or reason. Just begin sharing your ideas, your questions. We're going to give several minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and we'll monitor the rooms and see who might need more time. We have lots of good time for this section, and we want you networking and sharing those ideas with each other. If you have questions, certainly put that in the chat, and we will help support you as needed. So at this time, Sharon's going to put us in breakout rooms, and we will all join back in about 15 or 20 minutes.
Remember, when you go into the breakout rooms, to introduce yourself, let people know what grade you teach, and what school you come from. This will just take a minute, so hold on.
Ideas and things that are going well for you, or things that maybe you're struggling with, and getting some feedback from colleagues. Also, in addition, we are going to be able to support you with any questions that maybe did not get answered during this breakout session when you complete this survey. And the survey was emailed to you by Vivian just a little while ago, so you can get the link there. It's also at the end of this presentation, and the presentation has been posted to the Talk SUP page on the elementary instructional site. When you go into the survey, you're going to give some of the same information as before, but we're also asking that you copy and paste those yellow and red comments that you have questions about or things that you still want more information on. And we will provide those answers and or contact the person that made the suggestion and see if both parties are open. We can share contact information and connect the two of you, and you can get more details that way as well. So your feedback and what you're still wanting some